Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today I wanted to dive into some of the community's thoughts on Retribution and Raw Underground because there's a lot going on right now, so let's get into the wrestling news. The August 31st edition of WWE Monday Night Raw featured both an appearance from Retribution and more matches from Raw Underground. After being gone for a week, Retribution returned on Raw to interrupt the Tornado Tag Team match between Angel Garza and Andrade vs. the Street Profits. They flicked the lights to give the sign that they were coming, and then they attacked. They took out everyone at ringside, with even the Retribution women taking out Zelina Vega. They finished the attack, then ran down towards the backstage area. We see a frustrated Adam Pearce yelling and screaming at the security guards for not doing their job, and he sends them off. We later follow that up with seeing Retribution take out the security guards and burst through the doors in front of Angel Garza. And that was it for the night. I was looking through Twitter, looking through Instagram, looking just everywhere, just to get a feel on what everyone was thinking about Retribution's appearance lately, and there was one complaint that I saw a lot of fans bringing up that I definitely agree with. And that's the fact that they don't find Retribution interesting right now because there's no story to them, so their attacks are very pointless. I definitely agree with those comments by the fans. Retribution is a great idea and concept, but it's been a very poor execution so far. Not only the fact that their attacks are starting to feel repetitive and never lead anywhere, but there are plenty of other loopholes with the basic logic of the group. So, we don't know the members, the motive, the leader, the objective, or anything like that. And now there's rumors that they are exclusive to Raw. All we know is that they hate WWE and want to cause havoc and stop them from having a peaceful show. So, my writing issue with that logic is, why doesn't Retribution attack every show then? Why just Raw all of a sudden? Why does SmackDown and NXT get a free pass? From a logical point of view, and like we always say, you can't really use logic in WWE. But still, logically speaking, if you're running a group where their main top mission is to stop WWE from having shows, then why aren't they being more consistent with their attacks? Why did they let SmackDown have a peaceful show, and why did they let WWE have a peaceful pay-per-view event with Payback? Now, of course, WWE can explain Retribution's absence on certain nights by saying, well, there was extra security, so that's why they didn't make it in. Okay, but how come Retribution actually makes it through the security sometimes? That's the very subtle inconsistencies that I'm talking about. If this group is serious about their mission to destroy WWE, then why don't they show more effort to appear literally on as many shows as they can? Let's step out of WWE storylines and put this whole thing into a realistic situation. If there really was a group hijacking WWE shows, then why don't they really hijack the show until they get WWE's attention? Like after the attack during the tag team match, why does Retribution just run off to the back? If they're serious about hijacking and destroying the show, then why don't they just stand in the ring, grab a mic and say, this show isn't continuing until we speak with someone from management. Just anything like that would add a lot of story and really switch things up. We'll really get the feeling as if they're legitimately taking over and hijacking the show from continuing on. It just makes no sense. We saw Retribution take out the extra security guards. So why don't they just come right back out to the ring and destroy the main event of the night? It's the biggest match of the night, so why wouldn't you want to make a big statement by stopping that match? That's the problem I have with Retribution. Their logic just seems to be all over the place. I know obviously WWE can't stop the show all night for Retribution. They have a show to put on, but dedicate a nice little 10 to 15 minute segment to Retribution holding up Raw, making it seem like they're actually stopping the show. It doesn't make any sense for them to quickly attack someone and then let the rest of the show go on peacefully. If you're building something big here, you should have more of a direction of where you're going with them, but it doesn't look like they have any idea how to use them. I like the concept of Retribution, but I'm starting to be all out on the actual storyline. If things don't change, if we don't discover an actual member, leader, or motive for the group, an actual story, then I just might stop covering the storyline on the channel. I like Retribution, but if randomly weekly attacks is the only thing they're going to give us every week, then you're not really giving us much to work with and discuss from a storyline point of view. So unless things change with their direction, we're going to have to stop the coverage. I can't pull much content out from these little attacks every week. There's no story there. Same thing goes for Raw Underground. The only time we discussed Raw Underground was with the controversy with the dancers being removed. But as far as actual coverage of Raw Underground, there's just nothing to talk about. Just like Retribution, Raw Underground is a cool idea and concept, but just poor execution, and it just feels pointless. They're having these matches and debuts on Raw Underground, but there's no storylines behind the matches. The matches don't really mean anything. There isn't any win-loss records. There's no titles. There's no story. It basically just makes you wonder, why is this being shown to us? What's the purpose? I think that Raw Underground's biggest issue right now, it serves no purpose, it has no flow, and it's just all over the place. The Hurt Business also closes out Raw Underground every single week, it feels like. I don't know what's going on with that either. It's like Raw Underground wraps up every week with the same ending of the Hurt Business standing over everyone. I always viewed it as a pointless filler, and after I saw a lot of fans saying the same thing this week, I thought it would be the perfect time to bring it into a discussion. Fans seem to be rapidly losing interest in both Retribution and Raw Underground for the same reasons. Both Retribution and Raw Underground are overly repetitive, lack of direction, have no story, and both serve no real purpose to the overall show. So that's why fans are calling for the cancellation of these two storylines, but I don't know if I would go that far quite yet. There's still some time and room for some redemption here. I think Retribution is the easiest story to save right now. All you need to do is give them a detailed backstory, a good motive that the viewers would respect, a strong leader or spokesperson, a new objective, and just stay away from doing too much of the same old repetitive run-in attacks. That may be asking for a lot, especially from WWE, but I'm telling you, if they do everything on that list right there, you can turn Retribution around and get those same fans to be interested in them again. The fans are just so uninterested in Retribution because they're not giving them much to digest and work with. If you switch that up with a good story, Retribution very well could turn around to be the hottest part of the show. As far as saving Raw Underground goes, I think that one is a bit more tricky to save. I'll start off by suggesting maybe more time to be given to Raw Underground. I understand it's all about quick knockouts and flashy fights, but it's hard to get invested in a 10-second match. You have no time to build a story or feud in Raw Underground. Imagine a big hyped up feud in Raw Underground. The match will be over in 15 seconds anyways, so how can you really build a matchup if it's that short? Of course, the obvious suggestion is to introduce a title so that we can have some sort of order and number one contendership, but I'm not so sure about that idea either. A title in Raw Underground would probably look like the 24/7 title, just changing hands every 30 seconds, and that will completely rip away the value of the title, so that's why I don't think a title would work there at all. But what are your thoughts on this discussion about Retribution and Raw Underground's lack of story and direction? Do you agree or disagree? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.